Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to this edition of the Wake Up Guyana Show. You're tuned in to Kaieteur Radio, and I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie. It's a beautiful day out there. I hope that you're having a great day, as I'm having. I'm having tons of fun, and it is October the 20th, 2020, and so we're going to tell you about that. If you don't know, it's 10/20/20. Is that it? Yes, 10/20/20. So I hope that whatever it is that you're doing today, that you're getting very busy, that you're productive, and you're seeing results at the end of the day. And when we're talking results here, we're talking about positive results that would favor you and the other stakeholders that are involved in whatever it is that you're doing across this beautiful country of ours. So wherever you're joining us from, it was a fun day yesterday. This is the Wake Up Guyana Show. You're tuned in to Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 if you're in Esquimalt or Demerara, or 99.5 if you want to catch us in Berbice. We're also coming to you live on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So let's get down into things today. Many things to tell you about. Congestion, overcrowding, social distancing not being adhered to, Brassington to head gas shore task force, Bardindial back at the GPL, and of course VAT on building materials. We want to talk about these things today because we did do some research. You guys would have raised the issues. The Guyanese people raised the issues when it comes to VAT and why they're paying on construction material, or they're seeing the prices still involved there. I'm going to tell you what I did and what are some of the conclusions and what is happening down in Berbice. You want to hear about the $25,000 so far, what is happening. So some glitches into the system, but they're trying to fix it. So at the end of the day, we are going to be better informed because this is the Wake Up Guyana Show. Yesterday was a fun day. We had two developments. One was news that our iconic structure there, the St. George's Cathedral, is significantly completed in terms of the renovation. 120 years old. It is one of the most photographed areas in Guyana. And so what you would have had is that after just over $400 million, a significant part of the building has been completed. The roof and fencing remains the church, that Anglican church, which the St. George's Cathedral is a seat of the bishop in Guyana. They're looking for $50 million, sorry, that they're looking for to complete those works. So the roof, a big part of the project there, as well as a fencing. And so we did have a bishop as well as Carlton Jow. He is one of the persons overseeing. So good day to those folks down there who hard at work trying to see some other things in which they could lift that St. George's Cathedral up to another level. And of course, yesterday we would have had Chandas Prasad in the house, meaning he's talking to us there somewhere in Guyana, just trying to settle in, getting his feet wet, getting himself familiar with the situation. He says he's trying to get used to the crazy drivers on the road after 2 years, almost 2 years away, after leaving Guyana suddenly, after that controversial, historic no confidence motion, which toppled the coalition government on the evening of December the 21st, 2018. So he's back in Guyana, had an exclusive with Kaieteur Radio here, Wake Up Guyana Show with yours truly. And he did say that, he's looking, he hasn't really, there's not really any offer on the table for him, but he's ready to serve. He still has his law practice that he's willing to return to. So in the meantime, wherever you are, I want to say good day to you, and we are going to head straight into our favorite newspaper, the most widely read newspaper, the most circulated newspaper in Guyana, no other than Kaieteur News, and it is October the 20th edition. Harmon says coalition dependent on Kaieteur News information to take actions on the Kaieteur Kanji oil blocks giveaway. Remember these two oil blocks, which is adjoining the Starbuck block, which has been developed, which is right now producing oil. Those two oil blocks were controversially, according to the investigations coming out now by Kaieteur News, given away. And so Harman is the opposition leader, Joseph Harman, who was in government until his party was forced to relinquish power in early August because there was a new president sworn in, Irfan Ali. And here it is as opposition leader, he's saying that we're dependent on Kaieteur's information to take action in the Kaieteur Kanji oil blocks giveaway. Front page headlines, main headline. Despite doing no work, Guyana owes Kanji owner 100 million in pre-contract costs. Are we serious? So you come in and says that you're going to do some work for me, and then without doing anything, you hand me a bill for $100 million. What part in the world could you do that? Somebody need to relook at the situation here. Law book charges against Anand discontinued. Let me read the story very quickly. You could remember this controversially. Anand is a former AG. After the 2015 elections were held and the coalition entered office, they did some reviews, some audits, and so on, and they accused Anand Lal as a former Attorney General of stealing some law books. He, on the other hand, says that it was a gift and a part of his provisions, his contractual provisions, and it was a gift by the President of Guyana, and as part of his arrangements, his remuneration arrangements, that is. So I'm going to read to you what happened. That case was he was charged with theft of those law books, and this is a story that has come out now yesterday. The charges against Minister of Legal Affairs and Attorney General Anand Lal that alleged that the theft of law books was on Friday discontinued following a letter by the Director of Public Prosecution, Shalimar Aliak SC, to Magistrate Fabia Azor in the Georgetown Magistrate Court. The charges were discontinued based on the directions in the letter. So, based on the directions of the public prosecutor, this is the director, rather, Shalimar Ali Haq, the case against Anand Lal. And you know that under the laws of Guyana, criminal case, the DPP or Director of Public Prosecutions is a very powerful figure. That person could walk into a court, stop a criminal matter in the midst of it, and just say, I don't want any prosecution in this matter here, let it be discontinued. She has that power, very powerful person, or he has that power, whoever's there. And so based on this letter, the court automatically had to act on it, because when the Director of Public Prosecution says that you need to do certain things, especially criminal cases, you have to follow according to the law. Nanlal had denied the charges which alleged that between May 18 to 2015, May 29, 2015, while being a bailee in his then capacity as Attorney General, he fraudulently converted 14 common law reports valued at $2.3 million property of the Ministry of Legal Affairs. I think this charge, according to the story, was filed by Soku, and that is in essence what the story is. Maruka man charged to murder in Parika Bagdam farmer, Chandas Pasadas back and ready to contribute to the nation's development. And this would have come out from an interview right on this program here, the Wake Up Guyana show, yesterday afternoon. And he's speaking from somewhere, he said as he's throwing back, relaxing, trying to get the hang of things back again after 2 years of being, forcefully being exiled. Harman says you cannot make Guyanese refugee in their own countries. Report on the independent review of CXC to be released today. Meeting held with regional education ministers. And you can remember on Sunday there was a talk about that. There was a press conference on that. Clear definitions, robust monitoring systems critical to success of local content policy. There's an expert that's saying that. So we must have monitoring system. If you're going to put all the laws into place, if you don't have the monitoring system, you're going to have issues there. And we have a lot of laws in this place. But if the police don't do their work, if the regulatory bodies, GFC, GEA, GGMC, the Gold Board, and you could go on and on about ERC and so on. They don't do their work. Well, we are back to square one. They need to do their work. So wherever you are right now, you tune into the Guyana Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. A worrying state of affairs, and this is a front page comment of Kaieteur news today. The post of foreign secretary was a political contrivance. It was created following the affirmation by the court that persons who held dual citizenship were ineligible to sit in the National Assembly and consequently, and in accordance with the Constitution, to hold ministerial office. It is believed that in order to re-employ former Foreign Minister Kyle Greenidge within the Foreign Ministry, the post of Foreign Secretary was created. No less a person than incumbent Vice President labeled the appointment as incestuous. It therefore came as a surprise when the new PPPC government announced that the former Minister of Natural Resources and Minister of Agriculture, Robert Prasad, has been appointed Foreign Secretary within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. The appointment was greeted with a thunderstorm of criticism, including from the diaspora. Many questioned Prasad's suitability for the post. Robert Prasad was at the helm of the Ministry of Natural Resources when the Kanji and Kaieteur oil blocks were handed out. Global Witness, a reputable non-governmental organization, had less than flattering things to say about Prasad's recollection of the identities of those who were handed those oil blocks. Prior to 2011 elections, Prasad announced that he was taking a political sabbatical. He has now reappeared as the government's point person on international cooperation. His new posting will require of him a roll of agreements signed between Guyana and other countries. It's not a comforting thought. So we are at the end of the. We could tell you that in the meantime. Let me see if there's anything else that you should know from this newspaper here. Okay. So I have a couple of things that we have to discuss today. I want to talk about customer services in Guyana and what is happening in our country because I'm not feeling so very good about it. But one of the big issues, we did receive some complaints, some comments from our people over the last couple of weeks with regards to VAT on building materials. You can remember as part of the measures that we would have had in Guyana here for the budget 2020, the emergency budget 2020, that one of the measures was the removal of VAT on building materials. I saw people were saying that they were still seeing it, although the budget is passed and everything. And I did call the Commissioner General of GRA, did answer, and he says, Gildarie, we would have passed it, and there's an issue that it was already signed off and it's in place. But he was a little unhappy. I can't really repeat the exact words that he would have used, but what he did say that he was unhappy with some business people and what they're doing with regards to the prices. And I presume there's some discussions going on how they could probably make some statements or take actions. But the bottom line is that the business people are continuing to go as business as usual. The government has introduced the measures and the people are not passing it. These are the business people. The hardware suppliers are not passing it on to the people. You either do things, you charge it to the people as a reduced price or whatever. You cannot charge VAT. That's the end of the day. But the price remains the same, which is being inclusive of VAT. And of course, it's very difficult because you could say, this week here I bought in supplies and, the shipping is very expensive. So that's why the prices remain like that. They could use all kind of excuses. At the end of the day, like many supermarkets, people are overcharging. People you see some of the prices that you're paying for basic food stuff. It is unbelievable. So here you have it, that it is in the ball, it's in the court of the hardware suppliers. They're the ones who are overcharging you, it is being said. So you need to talk to them, and maybe we need to see some letters to the press. You guys send us and let us know some of these people who are charging what for what. Maybe it's going to be very difficult because if you bring in a container, another man brings in a container, you could get it cheaper, you could be able to sell it cheaper. So there's a competitive world that we have. However, there is, if somebody, is charging VAT when they're not supposed to charge VAT and your receipt shows that, then you have an issue with that. So we have to be very careful with what our people do. And I hope that I've answered that. We're going to continue to do a research. Bardindial, the former chief executive officer of the Guyana Power and Light, you could recall that after 2015, after the coalition came, they released him, and he was there. He's one a very technically inclined person, as the GPL head there, and they would have released him of his contract and then brought in Albert Gordon, who is a Jamaican executive to run GPL. So it looks as if Gordon has his contract running out next year. What's the plan? What we do know is that Bardindial has started his job as a management consultant, and this is this week here. Yesterday, he started his job as a management consultant at GPL. What does that mean? We don't know, but there is an internal memo that's been circulated that says that. So that's what we have so far with regards to Biden India. But everybody's eyes of the people are on the GPL and see what is going to happen. But there was a shake-up within the Power Producers and Distributors Inc. That's a company, the locally owned company, the government state-owned company that is managing the engines for Guyana Power and Light. And at GPL2, there's some shake-up there. There's some brought in. I think Mr. Ramtahal is there as well. Winston Brassington, you could call the former NISL head, is back in Guyana, and he has been nominated to head the gas to shore task force, which is going to look into bringing in the gas into Guyana and maybe see where it's going to land and see what are the possibilities. So it's a task force that's going to be putting together this information. You know that we have significant amount of gas out there, which if we are able to use it, we could have cheaper power. That's one. Two, we could be able to bottle those gas. There's so many things that we could do. We could sell that gas overseas. There's a big value to it. So we're trying to pipe it in from the Stabroek area and wherever else it is to our shorelands, and maybe we're going to take it from there. It's going to cost us some money, but at the end of the day, leaving it there is not an option. So this task force is basically going to be running to see what are some of the options, where could we land it, how much is it going to cost, maybe some proposal coming from different entities, and then there's going to be a proposal and government takes the decision. Is it going to be one gas to shore project? Because some of the facilities that we have in Guyana right now, the power facilities, they're being built to work with this natural gas as well. There's a possibility of that. So it's a very, very important project that we are looking at. COVID-19. Some people sent some picture there of GRA in front of their big crowds. CHMP yesterday, big crowds out there too. People are complaining it's not a good thing. There has to be some more level of control. We're not doing it. You can't close the airport and do all kind of hands washing, and then you got people standing right next to each other talking like when they know each other. And even if they don't, they are as in such close proximity that it defies the purpose why you would want to have any kind of COVID-19 restrictions or measures in place. And of course, in a very short while, I'm going to read to you what a medical professional is complaining about. You recall that these are doctors and so on, and they're talking about the conditions. This is not something that started now. It started way before, and we never really got it fixed. And as you know, the attention has come down in a big way on the medical workers in Guyana, the professional workers, even the doctors, nurses, everybody else, and what the conditions and the pay that they have to work on. Don't forget, we have COVID-19, and they were tasked with working wrong the clock. It's their profession. They've sworn an oath to protect, do whatever it is to ensure that the lives of Guyanese are protected when it comes to medical situation. They've sworn to oath with regards to that. So I'm going to read to you in a very short while what one medical personnel is complaining, a doctor, I think it is, about the condition that she would have had to work under. And of course, before we move on into customer service, because I would want to talk to you about that very quick, or let us talk about it, customer service in Guyana. I think if we really want to move, and this is a conversation when we open the lines, and maybe you guys could comment on it as well. When we talking about moving this country to the next level and move it into the next level very quickly, we talking about delivery of services, and we talking about treating our customers if they are the best thing, they are the number one thing in our business, and that's the way it is supposed to be. That's the way I was taught customer service. And so I bring this up with you because I I have had some terrible experiences with people. When I say people, I can't. I find it very difficult to deal with people. You know, you have business to do. Yeah, you have business to do, and you call them and you says, look, I want you to do so. Simple things as a spray in a cart. Simple things as to, you know, you need somebody to look into something. I call a couple of guys and I said, could you look into a computer? I probably might need to buy a computer for the little kid. You know, she started school there. I'm still waiting 2 3 days, and this was an order. You make some money right away on it because I would put the order in with you. You don't call back, I'm wondering to myself, you know, if we complain about business bad and things like that, and we don't get our customer service right, when somebody call you on the phone is because they have a need. Right away, I want to get that business, and so right away, I'd want to reach out to that person and let them start, you know, giving me that information. How could I serve you? Our attitude, our attitude towards doing business. A man walks into a business right away, you would want to jump into that arena there where the customer service area is, and how can I help you? A good day to you. Could I give you a glass of water or something? You know, you do that. You simple things that people are gonna remember. I go to a mechanic shop, and when I go there, there's barely place to sit down. You have to stand up. It's painful. It's just because the service is good in terms of what they do, that I would want to stick around there. But guess what? There's no place to sit. Even if I want some water, I gotta head across to the supermarket or the shop next door. We have to start thinking of little things that we could do. It might cost you some money, but not much, because at the end of the day, people want to come by you and see this atmosphere of professionalism. You look there, where do you dump your oil and things like that. But come back to customer service. All in the banks. GT&T is a classical example of that. The banks, a couple of commercial banks would have done something, you know. We have to ensure that we take our customer service to the next level. The plus side of it is that I was very happy over the last couple of weeks when I saw what COVID-19 would have forced people to do. Delivery service is a big thing in Guyana. You know, you see people on bikes all over the place, zipping in and out of traffic, delivering. It's honest job, and they do the stuff and they deliver. I bought a piece of equipment, one of those little magic bullet, a couple of days back. Somebody had it advertised, and we bought it. And guess what? The person bought it till to where I was. Customer service, because they want to deliver, they want to sell something, and you have a product to sell, you have to make it, you have to bend over backwards to ensure that you have, if it's not delivered, at least make it accessible to that person there. And that is all customer service. You got to know how to talk to your people, because when you see GT&T, when you see GPL and a couple of the others, my friends are there, but they know that I'm going to be very, very critical of what it is. I can't back down and say that we're all good and dandy and everything is nice, and we are happy where we are. In a very short while, we will be opening those lines, and so I would want to be talking to you. 226-7453, 226-7453, within 5 minutes or so thereabouts. We are going to be opening those lines. Of course, keep sending us those texts. 62222. I want to hear from you. What is affecting you this morning? Somebody did call, and they did promise to send me some texts as to what is bothering them in their area. But right about now, it is time, the CARICOM General Insurance time. Better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Streets to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. So we come back to this customer service thing that we have here. When you call a place, like I see a lot of people would advertise stuff, and like on Facebook or social media, or the social media forum. And when you look and you don't see price, when you call them, you want to know, why won't you put up the price there? Why do you have to call them to do that? You need to get, people are very busy. People want to move on and do what they have to do. So we need to start doing things. You can't wait until a day later. If you're doing business with somebody, if you see a missed call, you call them back in as much as possible. I would get plenty calls, and I have to end up picking up the phone and call back those people, because sometimes sometimes they run out. You never know. It's all part of this business here, that what we're doing, that we have to be people's, a people's person, if you understand what I'm saying here. So let us understand. But if you're in a business, your customer is the most important person in that business. Yes, we may not like sometimes how customers behave, but we have to learn to how to deal with customers and not say, well, you don't have to come here and bring your business, take it somewhere else. That's not the attitude. Maybe you could get that man or woman to spend so much more money. But what we need to do, we need to learn about customer service, and it's something that is very important. You want to take this country to the next level? Start at home. Charity begins at home. Let's start doing that. Let's start. If you're working in a store, when I go into stores and I see people following me all over, it's very, very uncomfortable. You could stand at a safe distance. You're not right up under me, like what happens at some of those stores on Regent Street, and so very uncomfortable. I need to stand up. I need to browse. I need to see what's it that I want. I need to relax. Maybe text somebody or something, and then you're there on that. Are you getting through? Are you getting through every 2 minutes? I mean, I don't understand that. Bad customer service. And if you're in a vehicle, thank you for traveling. Thank you for traveling. Here's my card. Let's step it up. You want to do business? Let's step it up to the next level. So I did promise you before we go to those lines that I'm going to read something to you. I thought it was important. I saw it. Sometimes these little things that we don't pay attention to. And this is coming from from an X-ray technician, and this is what the person would have said. Ramona Chandabali. Very important, because it's a plea from one of our professionals, professionals that we have in Guyana here. And so when we have these people complaining, and she's pleading with the authorities to look into the situation, we should sit up and take notice. It doesn't matter which government is in place. It is definitely a message to our authorities. Take action, address the situation. You might not see it addressed right away, but the people are really crying out. And this is what Ramona Chandabali is saying. My X-ray technician certificate was repaid in full with 3 years of my life. My bachelor's degree was paid in full with me working 2 jobs. My market vendor mom helping me significantly to meet my tuition fee, as well as borrowing money from family and friends. I completed my degree in debt. And my echocardiography certificate, sorry, I just take it, okay, is being paid with 5 years of my life. But I no longer think I have anything left to give. My job is literally too expensive to keep now, because my salary is not meeting my basic living expenses. I had to ask my mom for gas money this week. I haven't gotten grocery because I can't afford to. I've literally been living off food cooked by my mom or aunt. I had to collect a packet of tea bags from my aunt this week. Yesterday was my breaking point. And it's so sad on so many levels. For years, my youngest uncle has been pleading with me to move to Canada. Sunday we spoke, and we was finally convinced that staying in Guyana was a good call. Only for me to find out Monday that Guyana, $110,000 or $550 was my breaking point. And it continues here. It takes too much of my mental and physical energy to have to fight to stay above the poverty line. That energy used up takes away from all the energy I can use to do some good. I shouldn't have to worry about how I'm going to find my next meal. And I can't be so distracted by not having money that I lose sight of what I'm doing. It worries me. I'm barely cutting it to even buy. Oh my goodness. Let me repeat the sentence here for you to understand. Let it strike in our head what this young lady is saying. I presume she's a young lady. It worries me that I'm barely cutting it to even buy pads, sanitary napkins, for those who doesn't know what that is. How ridiculous is that? And we all know that if I leave, an entire field might follow. This cannot be the value of the sacrifices for me and my family have made for me to attend bishops and earn a degree and constantly keep elevating my academics. And she did post here her certificate from the Ministry of Health, X-ray technician, and the certificate of achievement She completed her echocardiography education program. I hope I'm pronouncing it right there. And of course, she did go through this degree from the University of Guyana. I'm not sure. I'm not going to comment anymore with it. I presume you guys have an understanding of what I just said there. Um, Whoever it is that is saying that she's lying. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Steve Reese, whether she's lying or not, or there's something that you're talking about. But I'm going to open the lines right now. We want to hear from you guys. Whatever it is that you want to say today, whatever is bothering you, we here. It's the Wake Up Guyana Show. We coming to you live. You could also get us on Facebook, Facebook Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. In the meantime, I'm going to read some messages as we're ready to take those calls. Hi, good day. I hear that the government giving out masks to sew, and I'm really glad if I could get some to sew. I normally does do school uniform. Can you link me up with someone for some work? Thank you very much. I think this is the Ministry of Human Services. You guys get hold of these people, Ministry of Human Services, and I think it's a very, very good project, and you guys could take it from there. Please go right ahead on that, Ministry of Human Services, and let's take it from there. Good afternoon, Leonard. Since the budget passed, all vehicles license will be reduced to normal, but it's not happening. We still have to pay the high price. I'm a minibus owner and driver. Early last year, I started to pay NIS self-employed. I paid up the margin this year. I'm finding it very hard since COVID to maintain my payment because you can only carry 8 passengers during the lockdown. But now we have until 8 p.m. So I won't start paying. Do I still have to pay the absent month? Because true, I can't afford it now. You need to talk to NIS. I think there's some things that you could do. I'm not too familiar with that part there that because you missed it during the pandemic, whether they're going to give you a moratorium or something there. So you need to get hold of NIS. I'm going to bring back that lady there, the PRO, onto our program, and let us see what happens there. Do we have a call in line already? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Go right
Good
ahead.
afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
It is.
Okay. I've been trying to call you a long time now. Now I got through.
Yes.
I have a concern.
Yes.
This concern is concerning prisoners in general. Let us say the Lusignan and the Camp Street prison. There are a lot of prisoners who are eligible for parole, like about 8-9 months now. I know of parents who have applied for parole, but the parole board has been dissolved since June. And I don't know if you could highlight it to the relevant authorities that they need to form a new parole board. And that is installed as yet. And, prisoners are frustrated.
Yeah.
And, because of the COVID-19 too. You know what I mean? And if they are qualified, well, then they can be released from prison. Because there are many of them, as you know, they are not really fugitives. They are not criminals. Some of them not so bad or whatever, but because they follow friends. Yeah. In the bad company, the wrong time at the wrong place, being intimidated and so on. Because I know personally a few of them who are in there are eligible for parole. I know the parents, and the parents even talked to me, and they kept talking about the board not forming as yet, because their letters already there at the head office in Brigham. And there are others that collected a form to tell them what they have to bring in and wait on a call. So the parent will go with the letter, one from the parent or guardian, and two from prominent persons in community. And then you take it to the head office, whatever. But they didn't call them as yet because of the board, the parole board.
Immediately after this, I'm going to make contact with the Ministry of Home Affairs. Because somebody did raise this issue. I did send it to them, but I'm going to call Mr. Harry Gale. You know what you could do for me?
Yes.
I want you to call the Ministry of Home Affairs, ask to speak to a gentleman by the name of Mr. Harry Gale.
Mr. Harry Gale?
He's the advisor there, a very, very pleasant gentleman.
The Calypsonian man?
Yes, I think
okay.
he's there. He's there as the advisor to the minister.
Yes.
And you just tell him that you spoke to me. And raise this matter with him. I presume he's going to give you, because I'm almost sure this is not an issue that has slipped them, that they are addressing this. But I'm not sure. You're right. I don't think I've seen anything with that board being thing. So call him, get a number.
Some of them could have been out long time because just minor things, and they already served the 2/3 of the time.
Absolutely. So do that for
Okay.
me,
Oh,
and
thank
let
you
me know
so
how
much.
that goes, right?
Okay, thank you, and continue good work.
God bless you, my
Okay
lady.
then,
Bye bye.
bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. So, in the meantime, Mr. Steve Reese, how you doing? I see the people taking you on because you were saying that criminals, a criminal is a criminal. I'm not sure about that. You see, when your mother and your father and your brother and a sister and so on, sometimes, things happen and you end up there. Does that mean that you don't rue the day that that would have happened, that maybe you're sorry? And we have to start looking at when people are convicted, that that's not the end, that prison should not be a penalty, but it should be seen as a place for reforms, correction, that we could send them there, that we could put them out into society. When you look at 1,000 of our people in our prison system, and it's a little more than that, these are people that you would want to come back and make a positive contribution. They're somebody's brothers, mothers, sorry, yes, mothers too, brothers, uncles, dads, and many times it is very sad. Mothers are crying, and yes, there are the other people who are going to be complaining that yes, you committed a crime, you got to pay the time for it. Yes, but our system should be allowed to work, and at the end of the day, there's a reason why the parole board and everything was set up there. There's a reason why most prisons in the world now have started moving in the direction of, let it not be a place that where it is there for punishment, but let it be for more of a reform place, that you could teach them a trade, you could teach them something that it could uplift. We have somebody not too far from where I'm living, and he has come out and he was taught. I think he was taught sewing in prison, and he gets army work. In fact, he's refusing army work right now, I'm told, because they're paying too little. But the point is that I'm saying is that we have to start looking at things from a different perspective. How could we get this? We have to start looking at solutions at the end of the day. So it's not punishment that we looking at. It is a little more than that. It could be your brother, it could be your sister as well. And yes, when people do me stuff, I want to get very angry. But if we start taking that and we start looking at it that way, it is not where we want to be. So very quickly, let me read a couple of things. Hi, good afternoon. I completely agree with you with the customer service. Take the GBTI Bank at Diamond, for example. There are 4 chairs for all the customers to sit. When you are going up to the counter, you have to wait a long time and there's nowhere to sit. One time I had to leave the bank because I was standing for more than an hour. I told the staff at the bank about it, and they told me to write about it. I did, but still nothing. On a good note, though, all the other GBTI have good sitting. Thank you very much for that. Leonard, somebody says Yam Zaid. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. You guys got to forgive me. It means good day. Namaste to Kaieteur News. Sir, Guyana's success in the hands of Allah. Let's stop complaining and pointing fingers. The fellow Guyanese, when you sit doing nothing but waiting on Western Union and a barrel for overseas. Those days are over. Your families in the Western country are pushing, some of them can't even pay their rent and buy food stuff because of COVID-19. Their jobs have disappeared from in front of their eyes because they worked in the service industry. The world has changed. Everything is virtual. Those who are behind will catch up only if you follow the protocols of your new government and embrace changes. Rioting and following snake oil politicians will get you nowhere. Can you imagine Chinese, Cubans, Haitians, plus Venezuelans living in Guyana and are more productive than Guyanese? Ask yourself why. Travel around the world and you see how good you have it. We have it so good in Guyana. In Dubai, a glass of red wine is about $20 US. Can you imagine the cost of living in Dubai, Qatar, Oman, etc.? Please, my fellow Guyanese, educate yourselves and your kids for a brighter future, and let Guyana a prosperous place. Let us make Guyana a prosperous place to live. Always remember, never let a politician do you a favor. Inshallah, looking forward to your show. Mr. Gildarie, let the X-ray technician that the grass is not let the X-ray technician know that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Yes, I understand what you're saying there. Good afternoon, guys. This picture was taken some months ago. This is SWAT going on the. This is what is going on at the Eccles dump site. Companies send products to dump and allow the pickers to bring it out and sell it on the market, and they put it in the shop. Very dangerous to the kids and persons and the management of the dump site. Yes, and the person is sending us pictures of drinks and so on that has been dumped, and they're saying that people are picking it up and bring it at the dump site. They allow, and this is, I presume, the Higgs Bosch. Thank you very much for that. That's something that we have to talk to those people about too, as to what kind of control that they have at the dump sites to stop people from picking it up and bring it, because it's supposed to be a very secured area. Good afternoon, Gildarie. I'm interested in one of the tablets. Okay, good. I got that. Let me see what else this person is saying. Good day, boss. Can you give me an update on the GI revenue license for hire car, the price? I don't have that at the top of my head. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm sorry. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. My question today, like the justice system only work in our favor all the time when it comes to political, because you got cases that the DPP need to look into, and she's not. And all the cases that are out of her jurisdiction, she's very concerned about them. How come Donna Ramtai is not facing no charge for selling out the oil blocks? But if it was all the way around, Guyana was going to close down. We need to start being fair. As people, nobody is above the law. It looks like only in Guyana, a lot of people is above the law, and it shouldn't be that way. And there's not one single person from our side do not have the courage to stand up and say that this is wrong. Everybody sit back and think it's okay to prosecute people, and a lot of people on our side need to be in jail. Nobody at all does not stand up for the truth. I could start calling the names in our race that needs to go to jail. Guyana, I'm not sure about what you talk about the race there, whoever this person is. Needs to be in jail. What Guyana justice system is a joke. All you have to do is pass a white envelope and everything will be okay. That's what we put a blind eyes the situation in Guyana. But if Guyana used to have lawsuit cases, action, defamation of character, and the list goes on, and the justice system would be different, because Guyana government would have to spend a lot of money. It's coming from one of the persons who look and listen to the program. Keep up the good work. God bless. Good afternoon, Leonard. How are you? I have a suggestion. Maybe please the Ministry of Housing and Water need a better system in place. I was there yesterday from 6 a.m. Came out 1 p.m. They need to have a different days to attend to a different issue. Please need a better system. It's very frustrating. I'm going to send this to the minister. Two ministers right away. Just bear with me. Let me just got that, did that. So in the meantime, do we have another caller in line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
You were talking earlier about customer services, and of course we know it's atrocious in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, oftentimes we want to blame those persons who are offering customer services. But the thing is, I think there is a demand, and Guyanese demand a poor customer service. And I tell you what, do you do shopping in the market for how long? And you see the atrocious conditions that our markets are in. And we love it. We prefer to go in a rainy day where it's muddy and we buy things from the ground. This has been since in the 50s and 40s and 30s. And our market system right across this country refused to upgrade their system. So that tells customer providers that we love that shoddy service. We like it. And so we will have to accept it. Those of us who want, then we will go to other places. But the majority of the population like that. Now, we have a lot of food vendors in our country. And, you know, everybody has a right to make a dollar. How many of those food vendors, day and night, have been certified by, you have to have a license, a food handling certificate. And so do these people that sell on the road. But, you know, as customers, we don't care. And if we don't care, why would we want to have good customer service? You've traveled. And I can remember when I used to smoke, and you go into the States, in front of every store in Queens, there is a bin there. On top of it, there's a sand, and you can out your cigarette or you could throw your trash. You walk up and down Water Street or Regent Street, there are no bins. to throw your stuff before you go in. So where do we throw our garbage? In the drain. And I fully support that, because where is the infrastructure? Where are those bright people? And we don't have to have no engineers to dream up these things. You just have to travel, Trinidad, North America, and all of those rich people, all the presidents and prime ministers and so forth, or ministers and these things, they travel. They see. You can only watch and come back and implement. You don't need a person with a university degree to implement those things. So my point is, we are offered what we want. We choose it. We choose to go to the Sunday market as La Penitence and buy stuff from the ground. We choose to buy food stuff from people we don't know if they have food handlers certificate. If that's what we want, that we will get. Why quarrel? Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Zia. I love that, and I love that. And in essence, what that gentleman is saying very, very clearly, we deserve probably what we got, or what we get in. And if we don't lift our standards to the next level, and we need to educate ourselves, make ourselves much more aware, and that's so spot on. We could be complaining all the time about the kind of things that is happening in this country. And like I keep saying to people, if you don't start educating yourself, lift yourself and understand and make yourself aware what the laws are and understand that you have rights, we ain't gonna get nowhere. When they stop you on the road and they ask you for your driver's license, should you give him? Could he walk away with it as a policeman and go elsewhere? What are some of the rights? Do you need to visit the station to settle something when it's a ticketable offense? You need to get yourself in order and let us start educating ourselves. What he's saying is very, very true. You go to the market, yes, one of the best market in terms of you can really get some good stuff is La Penitence Market on Sunday. The problem is when you look at the way that people are really handling food stuff and so on, if you're very picky and choosy, yes, you got to cook it, but you don't know what kind of contamination. You know what food. You got to make sure that you handle it in such a manner that when it actually gets to the people, that there's a protection, there's a chain of events or chain of custody that allows it to be protected in such a way that it's good for consumption at the end of the cycle. So what that gentleman is saying there, very, very, in reality, in a nutshell, is let us raise our standards to the next level, and that's all we need to do. But the way that we have to do that is to educate yourself. Let's educate ourselves continuously, because we should not be accepting because it happened like this 20 years back. Starbuck Market about 40 years back would have been something you could have walked in and it was so spick and span. You go there now, people selling drugs. Yes, people selling drugs under the market clock because it's been happening there for a long time. We allow the situation to fester. You can't walk. The women can't walk. The pass there, the pat the women on the body. Nobody says you walk away because you're squeaky to open your mouth. Somebody brackle you on one side and snatch a chain or cut your bag on the other side. The police are there and everybody seems to know who the thieves are. When you see them, a red flag is supposed to be going up. You're supposed to be acting. You're supposed to be standing up, surveying the market, walking around. What is happening? Are you guys having a good time? The police supposed to be doing the job. City constab, what are you the guys doing? Need to raise the level of it. So we could talk about it. Everything has changed right now. So we have to start dealing with situations in a different way. Raj, do we have another call in line there? Yes, good afternoon, caller, you in the air.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Go right ahead.
I'm calling to just want to know what's really going on in our country. What's really happening with the cost of living?
Good question. That's a very good question. I presume you're a housewife.
Yeah.
How difficult it is that you're facing it. Tell us a little what is happening with you.
If you're having a month's salary and you go to the supermarket and you bought like a $40,000 dollars in groceries or $50,000 in groceries, your tax would come up like $6,000, and that $6,000 can do a lot of things.
You're talking about the taxes.
Yes, the VAT.
But taxes is a must. But what I'm saying, we have to start looking at these, at what is happening. I think one of the big problems that we have, the government would have removed taxes on a lot of the stuff.
Yes.
But the supermarkets, they're the ones that they're using the excuse of costs of acquisition, that they buy it there, so they got to sell it back there and things like that. I
Yeah.
don't buy that.
Yeah, I know that. And when you go, if you go every month into the supermarket, it's like things keep going up. Yes.
So yeah, it's what are some of the things that you see? Because I want to put it out to the people all the men and so that probably in the system that don't normally shop, like myself, don't really shop too much. I don't have the time for it. But what are some of the things that you see that has gone up significantly?
Like if you go like most of the house items that you buy is like $100 add-on or $50. Sometimes it's a lot of things.
Well, I hear you because there has been a complaint. Many persons would have been complaining how everything gone up. I think we could blame it on COVID. We could blame it on so many things. But we have some very unconscionable business people in Guyana that take advantage. They're like leeches. And I make no bones about saying that. They're going to be very unhappy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, because you go like certain place, they will tell you, well, because of COVID, you're not getting certain stuff, so we have to raise this and we have to raise that. I don't know if that's an excuse.
Gala, we hope that that things improve. This COVID-19 is going to continue for a little while. We have another probably 6 months or so before we have a very clear idea, before we could really speak about it. So we got to bind our belly. We got to get ready, dig in our heels, and let us see. Now is not the time to buy clothes or anything. Let us try to save. If you can't save, we gotta plant some kitchen garden or something because it's going to be very difficult. Somebody's saying that it's up in New York, and so a lot of people have lost a job. So if you're dependent on some help from those people, they barely getting by too.
No, you can't. You can't. It depends on friends and relatives right now on the overseas. Because, as a matter of fact, they are worse than us.
Yes, it is because remember when you over there, if you rent in, it's not that you have a house. If you rent in, I'm sure a lot of people are going to probably lose their homes, and so if you would have lost a job because over there they're very unforgiving.
Yes, the rent, almost everything is rent. So they have to pay bill on this, bill on that,
Well, let's see. We continue to raise these issues. I'm paying very close attention because, we have to, but it's difficult when it comes to buying and selling to control the marketing. The government can't really do that. They could appeal, but, it's ultimately up to the business people, and they have to.
When on Saturdays you go by the market, the greens keep going up and up. It's not keep going down.
And that's a good thing. I thank you for that. We're going to continue to raise this issue.
Yes.
God bless you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. So it is something. So she's saying greens going up, and so we need to start. The farmers need to, go back. I know that your heart would have been burnt by what is happening over the last couple of months with farming and so on. I think a lot of people really took hard hit. You have to ensure that you take a hard. Food stuff is going to become very important. Food security across the world is something that they're looking at. There's going to be big demand for rice. In fact, my friends in the farming area are telling us that rice is doing extremely, extremely well. So if you have a piece of rice land wherever you are, plant it. You're going to get it, and let's hope that the weather is good. It's hard work, yes, but get someone to plant it, rent it out. The farmers are paying a lot of money to rent rice field now. Almost 15, I think it's about $300,000 to $400,000 every crop, 2 crops a year that you could pay for a 15-acre piece of land. So let me see here. Good afternoon. I must say I'm a regular listener to the program. Do keep up the good work. However, I have a concern. I have to be reliably informed that school is scheduled to be reopened on the 3rd of November for grade 5 and 6 and grade 10 and 11. What bothers me is that is if the ministry is actually taught been taught of wisely. I'm not sure. What system do they have in place for the students and teachers who have to use public transportation to and from school? Have they looked at the areas where schools are located and assessed the COVID-19 patients who are at home isolated and who are monitoring them? Have the ministry matched the facilities that are required by the non-academic standards for the school? What happens to the teachers who have to be in schools to engage those leaders and who have to teach online at the same time to the lower levels? These are just a few of the concerns. However, I do compliment the Education Ministry for their efforts, but much thought must be put into place. Don't talk about the internet service for online classes. It sucks. A concerned citizen. So I could tell you, sometimes they tell me my mouth tear. So the little kid passed to go to Bishop's High School this morning, and as I see these things, I'm going to talk about it. It's not to criticize anybody. It's to put them on the back foot, literally, for us to improve. It's only because of criticism or maybe because of observations that we could be able to improve ourselves and take it to the next level. So the little girl is sitting there, and I'm checking on her because today is a forest day. Bishops have started class for the forest farm, which is grade 7, I think it is. And she sat there for the first class. Second class, what happened? We're still trying to get in because she's not going to school. They haven't started physical classes. She is in front of her little phone. And this is a sad thing about it. Not many kids have been able to access that or have a stable internet. I'm privileged to do that because I ensure that I find it somehow. I have to do it. So in any case, she's sitting there for the second period where the teacher is supposed to be there. Teacher does not turn up. And so these things would happen. This is something normally happens in school. Teacher might not miss a period or so, does not turn up for class. But I keep looking at it. I keep wondering in my head, what happens to those kids who don't have internet? And so I say no further because this is something that we've been talking about. I see, I heard Digicel is going to come out with some major stuff very, very shortly. Major announcement within a matter of days with regard to some products or services that they are going to be offering to the Guyanese people. I hope that one of them would be cheap data for families who are living in Guyana, who working and doesn't have DSL or Blaze or whatever it is that eNetworks is offering or are offering at the moment. And I hope that they're doing it because for many parents, they don't have a tablet, they don't have a computer, they don't have a laptop. What they do have is a smartphone, and that might be the fastest way for us to meet somebody halfway. So let's hope that somebody is smart. If GT&T was worth their salt, this is something that they would have gone instead of waiting until liberalization to talk about we doing this for business and that for business. You could come on here, let's talk about it, and have you explain to the people of Guyana why is it that you had to wait until after liberalization to talk about what we're doing for business. What about the domestic services? So it is CARICOM General Insurance time, a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo coverage today. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. Wherever you are, good day. I want to say good day to all the teachers who are struggling, who really find it very hard. I want to say good day to the students who are privileged. And I want to say best luck to the kids who are struggling right now. I am not sure. I feel helpless at the moment that we have not been able to really reach across Guyana. Where do we start? It's a struggle. We're facing very difficult times because of the challenges of the absence of internet, the absence of devices, and so on, to bring the education to the people in a classroom, which is not in the physical classroom, but in a virtual classroom. So it's something that we are going to continue to pay attention to. So our numbers are 226-7453, 226-7453. Please do not call us on 622-222. We can't take those calls on those lines. That's only for WhatsApp or your SMS at the moment. So there's a call online. Good afternoon, caller. You're here.
Hello, Mr. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm sad to hear about the lab technicians and for the people that are talking, X-ray technician or whatever it was, foolishness. It is sad to know the people who don't understand the cost and the sacrifice people take to go and study to further their education. And then when you're working, you barely survive. And I live in my life where to drink one beer is a sacrifice. In the middle of drinking it, I studying what I could have been doing with this money. And that's the point I'm making. You're working hard 12 hours a day, and that's where you are, the reality of life. And some people, instead of saying they should have nothing to say, shut them out. And it relates to customer service. I know I went into a supermarket, me and my wife, and I went into the freezer, took out a drink, I opened it, I took a pack of something, and I was eating. I was doing that. My wife was walking around looking at the shelves, and the security and supervisor was following her, not me, simply because of her ethnicity. I stopped going back there. I never went back there. I abused them, and I never went back there. We have to, as Guyanese, if we do not like the service we're getting, we need to make emphatic statements. You change or we move on. And if we do this, these people will realize it. But we keep accepting whatever they offer. We keep bowing and taking whatever is offered to us, and that's why it's being offered to us that way. That guy is right. If we put our standards high, then they will have to live their standards.
I agree with you, and that's, man. I can't even tell. I even can't begin to. As usual, you're right on point with that. But
Yeah.
we have to lift our standards. There's no doubt about it. We have
Yeah,
to. We have to
and
demand more.
it comes around. It comes around when you talk about customer service. We they say local government and the NDC is supposed to be of the community and not government, but the most of it is government. And so simply with this this grant that the government giving out 25,000, it would have been ideal if each NDC could have done it. But you can't trust them because each one will look after their own people, and that is what makes everything harder. Not saying that this government is perfect or the other one was perfect, but the local arms are not functioning. They operate like you doing them a favor. They do not know their people because each NDC could be able to say, yes, Leonard and Leonard living in this house. But you can't trust it because they don't know the people who they're supposed to be looking over. And that is a product of customer service because even within the government ministries, some of the biggest hubs work there. You go to the hospital, you shock when some nurses talk to you.
Oh
How
yes,
they operate.
even the security, the stock more hard than what the managers
I'm
target
telling you,
deal
know,
with.
I tell you, it's
And
crazy. Some guys driving a minister, and they operate like this a minister. And you're talking about the clock under the market with those guys. These guys, when women pass, they're knocking them on the butt.
oh yes,
I was walking with a young lady, but they didn't know I was walking with a young lady. And when they thing they hand, well, I could handle myself. Well, I snatched boom, put a punch. You know, our police was sitting in the crowd and come get up for arrest me. I say, you in trouble, you would arrest me for like. Fortunately for me, a superintendent who was my friend was passing. He saw the whole thing. You know, he get put on the bench in the station. The point is, police is there in the crowd. So people, who do they complain to?
no, it is. It is. We got some serious problems here. We got to start pulling people up because I don't think people. And you raise the issue there of the NDC. Let me make it very clear to you, and I think we would have discussed this. If the
Yeah.
NDCs and the RDCs and everybody start understanding what's a real mandate in this place and that they have the power, it's not a politician sitting in the office. We could
No.
fix. People call here complaining about
Yeah.
a man sent me a video this morning of Cornelia Ideal. They're living right next door to a man minding pigs. And
Yeah.
the man is cooking there for his dogs. And so it's an environmental issue. So why is
Yeah.
it that you got to call the newspaper? Why is it that the NDC can't act at the first
Because
instance?
because in all of these, in most of these cases, you look at this charge from City Council, it is politicized. Everything goes through it. Whether if it's a PVP person said, the APNU person pulls it down. If APNU said, PVP pulling down. They forget. Let me remind Guyanese something. When we win the office, campaign finished. You're not working for a party anymore. You're working for the nation.
That's
They don't
correct.
understand it. They don't get it. They don't understand that. Till you get voted out, then you could go back in your party. But when you get the job, you're there to work for the nation. And talking about salaries and remembering that lady,
Hmm.
something has to be done because you talking about prices raised. When you go to the market, I just do shopping for my family. I'm the one to do shopping. And the reason why I just get good goods, I just got to walk all over and I look for the cheapest all over. And it's tough sometimes to do all these things. Salaries are not raised. And that's why I told you months back, I do not trust. I don't like hear the private sector talk nothing about the taking blows because they pass everything on to the customer.
That's correct.
They don't take a punch. If something raised, they don't take a punch and say, "No, I can't do this to my customer." They pass it on, and that's why I don't like them. I listen to your comments out here.
Thank you very much, Zaire. And you did raise the issue about the NDCs. This morning, I did receive a call, and the NDCs got ensured that they should have been in every area, and it's very, very sad that we could actually be looking at the NDCs and not trusting them. These are people who are supposed to be the representatives. I was looking at something on television last evening, and the governor was running. He was running to become the governor of this entire place, and it's such a big thing for them because when you become a governor or a representative of a particular place, it's supposed to be a big thing. What is your legacy? What have you left? What have you done for the people? 5 years from now, when you go back and tell the people that you want them to vote you back in, to go back into that area there, as chairperson, as a councilman, whatever, councilwoman, what did you have to show for your work in the last 5 years? Which project did you come up with? What did you do other than going to council and sitting down there? They should be knowing what every person that's in the community there. They should be knowing that living at that house there is 86-year-old Aunt Agnes, and Aunt Agnes can't move because she's lying on a bed, and she can't move. That's because she's blind. You're supposed to know that, so everybody's supposed to know. And this street here has lot 80 to 86. You're supposed to know all of that. You're also supposed to know that at any given time, somebody asks you, how many persons officially live in that village? We're talking about squatters. We're talking about in that village here. Well, I can tell you that there's 2,000 houses in the Grove Diamond area there, and we have 13 streets. Those are the kind of things you're supposed to know, and these are the figures that all NDCs are supposed to have at the fingertips. And talking with that, did receive a call from Burbies this morning. I think somewhere between the 52 to the 74 village area there. Those villages, this in the quarantine area. That I was talking to somebody who was doing the distribution of the 25,000. And that person told me something that was extremely shocking, and I tell him to please get it fixed. Because she says the people in conjunction with the Ministry of Finance sharing out it, and when they look at this particular big house, this says those persons don't need, because they got a big house. They seem as if they don't need money. And they were walking away. And the lady said, you need to go back to the house and distribute the money to them, because you can't do that. The government says every household. So you can't look at the house. You don't have the prerogative or the option of passing that house. You have to go to that house. With regards to if more than one household, if you have more than one families living in one property or one building, so they give to the head of the household or whoever owns that property or whoever is in control, and then you fill out a form and they come back to those people. I think it takes a couple of days. It doesn't, right about now, after they would have gone to those people, they have not gone back to those people who would have also filled out those forms. So we are following that situation. How long more or how long after do you go back to those people? I understand that's the NDC job now to go in and verify that those families are indeed separate families and it's not just a son collecting for the mother or father. So we are going to continue to follow that situation. Somebody sent me a picture here. This is the Diamond Courts branch. And we have some dirty people in Guyana here. The people are sending the garbage that they're lining across the alleyways and so on. And this is the main public road, one of Guyana or Guyana's busiest public road, the East Bank corridor there. And people are just dumping garbage on the roadside. You guys are a bunch. And this is coming from the vendors, the people are saying that is operating in that area there. You guys need to get your act together. You're not doing well. It's not good for people to pass this and see this kind of sight. It's garbage time. And the people who are throwing garbage there, You need to get your act together. This is not good enough. And anybody who takes pictures, send it to me. So maybe you could share it on Facebook and so on. Good afternoon, Gildarie. I just heard you spoke about Cornelia. I am from the same village, Block Y. We're getting real low water pressure here for the over 2 months. Our black tanks are not being filled, although they're not high. It's very hard because we can't use our washing machines to wash clothes. We work during the day and night. We have to scrub outside. Please read this. Yes, I did raise this issue. I think Mr. Colin Crowell, I'm going to talk to him again. This is Block Y. I think Minister Colin Crowell would have been told about the situation. They have some issue with a pump over in that area they're trying to fix. I'm going to raise this issue back again because ever so often people complain in there. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I'm a parent of Laluni. I'm very concerned about the road. The road is very terrible, especially with a pregnant mother who have to travel. We pleaded with the government to hear us out. Thank you very much, dear. Laluni, I'm going to try to talk to the minister about this too. Laluni Road. Let me just write this down right away. Laluni Road. This is on the Suzdike Linden Highway. A good day to the folks down there. As Mr. Steve Reese, I would have to start taking actions to block you if somebody is not getting water. And I've seen that you've been talking about this thing. We don't want the kind of people like that. You don't have a picture to your Facebook page. You come in here. I think you want to be very disruptive. This is not what this show is all about. Somebody is saying that they're not getting water pressure, and you're saying for the person to go fetch water. If we have another comment like that, we're gonna block you. It's very simple as that. You got to be very respectful to the people who are here, who are trying to make a contribution to the betterment of Guyana. We don't need people. We don't need people who are going to be very disruptive. It's very simple as that. So get your act together, sir, or madam, whoever it is. We're not sure, and let's do things the correct way. You can't say that that you're gonna go fresh. This is not how we do stuff here. And I give people a lot of privilege, not privilege. We give people a lot of leg room here to be free, make a comment, but it has to be to the improvement of our people in Guyana. I get upset when I see or hear things like that. So very quickly, also, do we have another call in line? Yes, good afternoon, caller on the air. Yes, good afternoon, caller on the air. We don't have any there. Very quickly. Good afternoon, sir. I have 3 children. We don't have internet service here in Laluni Creek. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with that one there. There's a shop at Laluni, which so a lot of Laluni people here. Good afternoon, Gildarie. Sunday afternoon, I happened to travel in the Sabanto boat, Supreme to Perica. I want to use the toilet and all full up with mess. Horrible, no water to flush the toilet. The pipe not running is a matter of fact that no water in the boat. COVID-19, and this person's complaining, and no water to wash your hands. Can you imagine these people serious? Plus, I had 3 visitors. I was ashamed. Sabanto is one of our 2 ferries that I think it was the Chinese ferries that was bought there. And it's operating on the Essequibo River. This is a very serious thing when you have people and you got to use these boats. Sometimes it's a scenic. You want to take a scenic ride, maybe on the boat to see the Essequibo, the majestic Essequibo River there, and you're on these boats, and simple things as the toilet. I'm not sure what's happening there. Surely there's management or workers in these boats. What's happening here? Transport and harbors. You guys need to do a little more there because people are complaining about the level of service there. Okay. Just to know if somebody boarded, can you put it over? No, we're not dealing with boarders here. Sorry, there's more serious thing here. My apologies about that. Today, good afternoon. My question is whether it's just, okay, I did read that. Everything takes teamwork. You have to come together as a team. If you don't have teamwork, we're not going to get any place. We're not going to go in any place anytime soon. We don't have team players without good teamwork. This is all over the world. I would not think no food stuff is very important. It's very expensive. I don't care if you have to rent or you have to mortgage. All works out to the same thing. Okay. Let me see. Good afternoon to you. I've been reading all about the oil deals of recent. Now the oil blocks that were sold during the Donald Ramsay presidency in 2015 should be investigated. We need to trace back what wealth the minister, these individuals would have had and they acquired during this period. I don't think they were so stupid to give away our wealth like that. They need to be grilled and face prosecution. I can recall when the government changed hands in Sri Lanka, the son of the former prime minister was investigated in jail. Also, his assets was frozen and returned to the country. In Guyana, it seems when the government knows it will lose an election, they scramble to see what they can get. I would have seen in the media where the good minister of education went in the outlying region and distributed worksheets for students. Now worksheets cannot be accessed at schools on the west side. Parents are told that if they're interested in worksheet for the kids, they can acquire same at a printery at the cost of $1,600 per worksheet, which is maths, English. Let me see. Okay, which is maths, English, and yes, I got you. I got what you're saying there. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm from the Region 1. I need to speak with you after the show. Yes, you guys know how to get me there before we go back to the line. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I'd like to know if GCOM is open and my uncle is waiting to get an ID card. Can't get on to those people. I did try to call a couple of times. I'm going to have to call them back again. Good afternoon. I would like to report something this morning. I was going to work and two boys robbed me. And I went to the Rheinfeld police station. They keep pushing me around. These boys lying at 26 James and Hill Street. Our boys sung at a little shop. The boys harbing them. She does not have a permit for the shop. So somebody is saying here that they got robbed and they know the robbers. What's happening in Rheinfeld police station? If you're listening to me, to the commander of this region here, I'm gonna please call the Rheinfeld police station there, or if you're listening to the show here, get on to the officer in charge and said that you would have talked to us here at Kaieteur Radio and let us see what's happening. I can't understand that they know that these two boys who you're accusing them that they had a particular location and they're not going there. That something is wrong there. Please keep me posted on that situation. Also, there's a shop in here. I presume this is in Aloni, which people can't afford. The goods are very expensive. My aunt bought four pint of bleach for $900, and things are very expensive. Yes, things are going to be expensive around the country in certain areas. Good afternoon. Today I went to pay land rent for my dad homestead, and the boy that works in land survey said the rent did not drop, that he does not have any orders to reduce the rent from his boss. How can the land rent of a homestead remain at $8,000 when the present government says it dropped? This is my Curie, Blackbush Pole, the lands and survey. Next thing, my father passed away about 15 years ago, and I did all the application payment for this land to come to my sister's name. Until now, we can't afford obtain any paperwork for it. Can you please help me in this matter? I've done everything they asked for and have all the rents and receipt and documents. I think there's new management there now. You guys need to get hold of. Let me see what I could do here. I'll have to probably talk to the lands and survey. This is a lot of work y'all giving me here today, but it is what it is. It's a work for the people here. Do we have another call? I'm going to make contact with the lands and survey. Good afternoon, caller. You're here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Pretty busy here today.
I call concern complain about the police, man.
Mm-hmm.
I call some time ago and we talk about police being on the road too much and people, they getting overbearing with these policemen. I was coming down the road Saturday. The police stopped me. They said I was speeding. They gave me a ticket. When I reached Leonard, I was about in the night sometime. I get late and the police down the road block. They stopped me. They said, go to the car. And so I went in the car and the guy come up to me and he said, how one side of the light is not working. So
was the light not working?
Yeah, the front one light wasn't working. So he asked for the documents. So I said, but before I passed the documents, he said he would give me issue a ticket to me. So I said, how are you going to issue a ticket to me? So I was wondering if the bulb just blew while I was coming because it was almost 8 o'clock in the night. I thought that you would inform me that the light, because you can't know if the bulb blew or somebody, if you drive in and the bulb blew. It's not like the bulb blew for a week and somebody inform me like 3, 4, 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, oh, you're still doing it because they inform you, and you're still driving with this light, and you fix it, and then I would give you a ticket. It's like it's the first time I get into know that the one of the ball would working. So I didn't bother with it. I just drive away when he said that you can give me a ticket. I said I can't know if a ball blew. Somebody got to inform me that the ball blew, and I am not a technician, so that even if I walk with bulb in my pocket or in my car, I could change the bulb. Me, that's not my business. I'm a painter, so me and know for change bulb from car.
So what did he do?
He didn't do nothing. I drive away. Me and waiting for nobody tell me what, give me ticket for no bulb. And plus, I can't work with a technician everywhere I go, so that if the bulb blew, I'm supposed to get a technician with me so we can come out every 5 minutes and check, see if a bulb blew, and then we can change the bulb. I think this is advantage. Police is taking advantage.
No, and on this occasion here, sir, and I would call it as it is. I'm going to be very fair to the police in this case here. You were wrong. For the simple reason, if I'm driving in the night, if your bulb is blown, unless you find that, if the police could flex with you, but the police, if you dare, the police can't know whether it had blown since yesterday or not. If you dare and your vehicle is defective, maybe your traffic gate is not working or not, they have to issue you a ticket. Unless that policeman, the thing what you could argue is whether, this thing happened and you could beg for a little time, that, let me go home. But if they allow you to go on the road with that light there, that is defective, it could cause something. So it's a situation that is up to the police, because if you live right around the corner, they could probably take a chance. But you ain't supposed to drive away from the police just like that. That is really wrong. You could get yourself in trouble there. In addition to that, if you have something defective, the police, because the law is very, very clear as to what could happen or not. The only thing that they could flex with you, if you understand the word flex, but you can't drive away from the people. I mean, you understand. So, but if you, even whether you it just blow or whatever it is, if they see you, the fact is that when you're before them, you have a defective vehicle or a vehicle with a defective light. So in that case, that's my limited knowledge, what I know of the situation there.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but you got to understand from our point of view as well.
Yes.
We've been suffering in the hands of the police for the last 20 years.
Yes. I see what
More
you're
than 20 years, and police is living down in people's life. I was going to ask you if we could ask a minister for let a table a bill in Parliament for a policeman live home at we house, because it is not fair for we walk and then everything you want in this country you got to pay a bribe to get it. It is unfair. And policeman is every day they're like crossing people's life. Sometimes you calculate for left for go 4 places for the day. First thing you come out to your house Sunday morning, I was going to tell you, if the guy would issue me a ticket, then that would have been $15,000 would have paid. Sunday morning, I get stopped. I left to go and buy a piece of meat for my children. Them. The police was stopping me again. I drive away again. Seriously, I get fed up with this for the last 20 years. I've been going through this and talking about flex. I asked the policeman for flex with me, the one at quarantine. I said, flex. And let me tell you what flex mean when you ask a policeman for flex with you. And he said, sir, I don't know you. You know what I don't know you mean? It means that you're going to talk me language about money. I mean, we cannot come to the conclusion that the guy asked. He said it means he asked you for money. I said, no, you didn't ask me for money, but if I give you the money, you're not going to give me the ticket. You understand? If I don't give you the money, I got to get a ticket. That's what Indian people going through in this country on a daily basis in the hands of the police.
Well, let me tell you, my brother, and because of who I am now, as you get older, you start thinking things and seeing things differently. And because I really want this country, and for the mere fact that I'm sitting here doing what I do day in, day out, I would love to see this country. You see, when we mess up, I tell police. One day I told them, and I just want to share this thing. I did something, I was speeding, and they clocked me. And said, what happened to you? You got to give us a good explanation because we are about to give you a ticket. I said, I can't. I really can't. You got to do it quickly. Give me my ticket and let me go ahead. And said, why? I said, I'm headed to a funeral, and the funeral is they're about to close in a very short while. And the guy started laughing, and he says, I haven't heard one like that for a very long time. But the point I raised that with you is that if we really, like this morning this afternoon I talk about customer service, if we really want to take this country to our next level, we've got to take responsibilities for our actions. I mean, we not, and I understand what you're saying there, that policemen, they've been taken advantage, and we're very upset. But hear me, what I'm saying. We have got to do the right thing. You know, every day that I get up, every week or so, sometimes 2, 3 times a week, I would check my water, I put on my lights. That's because I don't want to get a clash with the police, and I understand that the bulb, you can now start up the car and drive to the corner there when the bulb is going to blow. It doesn't tell you when it's going to do that. This is why I come back to you. It is going to be at the discretion of the police rank at that point in time whether they take a chance for you to continue, because it's a very dangerous thing. That's one. Because sometimes, like, my eye is not good. Sometimes I got to drive very slowly, make sure that I pay attention. If somebody has a thing, like a one light is going to be dangerous for me and that person too. I could run into that person, but you have one light. But I understand what you're saying. I think you have a very good point, but we got to do things the right way, right?
Right. Let me tell you one more thing quick before I go. Right. Why the police and all these tickets should have been, they should have thrown away these tickets were given people, because the court system is very. I don't know what to say about the court. When you got a court, it's that the magistrate can ask you to make a plea. I mean, I don't know if you ever watch this court in America, court in Providence, and see how lenient this guy is, and he would listen to your story and then give you a chance. When you got the court in Guyana, the magistrate can ask you if you play guilty or not. If you play guilty, there's nothing you could explain, because you're already guilty of the
That's
offense.
correct. Yes.
So you got to pay the fine. Nothing you could tell these people to say, let this man go along with the business. If you play not guilty, you got to come 3 times work and cost you 3 days work for come here, and plus you got to get a lawyer for defend you. And this is why the police is taking advantage. Another thing, when you're coming down the road, I don't know if you ever checked the speed sign. There's no speed sign, no way. Not the speed sign, yes, there's speed sign. Let me correct that. But when you look at the speed sign, on the Pepsi sign, there's a big Pepsi sign where some of the letter writing 15 inches by 8 inches. And you know what's the number for the speed limit?
Which area is this?
Coming down from Barbie to Georgetown.
I'm gonna have to pay attention to that.
You must check it. You know what is the size of the number for the speed sign?
You're talking about visibility there.
Yes, 1 inch by 1.5 inch by 1.5 inches. So you gotta actually stop on this Pepsi signboard to see that this is a 50 zone or there's a 60 zone. You can't memorize all these things all the time as you're driving for say, look, are they between Belladrum to Myconi, and this is 50. But if there's a big signboard indicating to you that this is a 50 zone, at least you could know that, well, all right, you got to step up on the gas.
I can pay attention to it. I can take some pictures of it, but make sure, if you understand, let us do things the correct way. We got to be law-abiding citizens. We got to allow the law to work, because if we start doing that, we're going to start fostering an attitude that people got to start understanding that, this boy Gildarie, this boy Leonard, they're not gonna, don't ask them for bribe. And if you see them, let me give them a chance, or let me charge them or give them a ticket, because they're gonna be very strict. If people start understanding that the camera's rolling all the time, there's a dash cam that you have in your vehicle that is gonna be recording everything, you're gonna see how much speed. I saw in Kaieteur News, the boss them up, the policemen them knocked down a man the other day, and they're trying to get away from the scene. Yeah, imagine that. So if we start understanding, look, I have this thing here in this car here, and it's recording you. Let's start, you start doing that. But we have to start doing it somewhere. It has to start with us. The change for the better Guyana has to start with us.
To be honest with you, honest speaking with you, is like, we don't want to do these things. Like
I know.
If I were to get stopped Sunday morning, I drive away again from the police, I would get stopped, and they would give you a ticket for me. For some reason, it would be $22,500. You imagine if every day the police is on the road, every single day, 4 or 5 different places on the road, and they do these things to people. They're deliberately doing these things to Indian people. You check if they do this to Indian people every day. People get in front.
I don't think it's so much Indian people. Everybody is getting the thing on it,
but
right?
That's the reason why you see the black guy backs up, the backs in his police.
No, sorry. I'm careful with that. All right.
They get fed up with these people, because these people fighting crime now. They're searching everybody. You can't start. You got to sit down and study who committing crime and go to them and deal with them. You got to do your groundwork. You can't harassing every single body. This is what's going on in this country now.
Yes, and I think they have a very rude awakening that we're not going to tolerate. I thank you very much for those observations, sir.
Yeah, thank you to Mr. Gildarie.
Good day. Good, bye-bye. And so, these are issues that we have to pay attention to. Mr. Gildarie, Sunday morning, I happened to travel on the Sabanda boat Supreme, Okay, good. So I think this is um, Mr. Gildarie. Yes, we want to go back to Eskimo. My wife called the Paricas telling to find out what time the boat running. They tell her 12 p.m., 12 noon. I ride all the way from Diamond and Grove only to greet the boat that will be only be to be told that the boat would be in at 4 in the afternoon. We had to wait from 11:30 to 4 p.m. to catch the boat. These people are not giving out the right information. They were pregnant mothers and babies, and they complain. I think the transport should give out the right time. And I say that they're over 2 hours now. Vehicle coming onto the wharf to drop off passengers. The guard told them that they have to pay $280. Now the guard is taking the money and pocketed. I see. Y'all guys, you're saying that the guard is taking money and putting it in his pocket. You guys need to take pictures of this. And maybe I'd have to go visit there too. And maybe take some pictures too, because this is absolute nonsense. Guards taking money. And we know what has happened at the Stellings, and so transport and harbors. You guys need to start paying attention. A lot of people complaining about the level of service and what's happening. Lots of run-ins happening at the transport and harbors department there. Need to fix it and fix it quickly because people are paying attention. Take some pictures, folks, and send it and let us embarrass them. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. The caller there need to check the vehicle before leaving home and ask a family member to make sure everything works. Thank you very much for that. Good afternoon. I have an issue with the GWI. We paid for water about some months now. Went to the office a lot of time. We don't know what more they to do. They always say next week, and they never reach to put in our water. We also call the head office, and they call the Perica office, but we still not getting through with our water, and it's going on to 8 months. So could you please help us because we need water? I'm living in Tushin, West Coast. This is very, very easy. You need to call the Public Utilities Commission because it's gone beyond. You can't wait eight months for the connection of a water, especially if they collect your money. I think maybe the issue is if they don't have any connections in the area. You need to give me some more information here. If they have connections and they have not come to put it into your yard, well, then that's something wrong with GPL. If it is that they took your money and then they know that there's no infrastructure work there, that's another story, which is still unacceptable. So I need some more information before I could probably point you in the right direction. You may want to talk to the Public Utilities Commission there. Leonard, cash crop farmers need money in Yakasari. This is Blackbush Polo. The NDC is not giving irrigation water. It's dry weather now, and we need water to grow our crops. You guys need to get on to Mr. Dennis DeRoop. Dennis DeRoop is the former vice chairman of the Region 6. He's now the agricultural liaison officer there for Minister Mustafa Zulfikar. So you guys need to get hold of him and let him start addressing that matter. He's the one representing the agri people right in there. So Dennis DeRoop there is the agriculture coordinator, I think agri coordinator in Region 6 there. Hope that solved the problem. Do we have another call in line? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You in the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Leonard.
Yes, it is.
Hi, Leonard. I'm listening here to your program, and I'm just calling on some of the people that call in. One, their boat to Essequibo. I traveled in that boat several times when it was forced, about 5 years back. That boat was a very nice boat. Both boats were very nice boats. It had big garbage bins in front and in back, AC, room, you can go in, relax, TV, everything. It was really a nice boat. But you got to realize that we Guyanese are hogs. Who you think messed up the boat and got it messy like that? It's Guyanese people do it. They go to the hospital, the same thing. You go to the hospital, the cleaners is the cleaning there. I was in hospital with babies. The cleaners just clean it. Next thing you know, they come, the family bring their provision, they throw it in the sink. It's a mess.
Yeah, I agree with you. We have our people themselves has destroyed that boat.
Yes, that was a beautiful boat, and it was so nice because when one go in, one will come in, and they would blow it really, really. I said enjoy traveling on that boat. Mm-hmm. I traveled several times on it. So I'm shocked to hear the woman say how messy it is. One day I was sitting on the deck. A man was eating something. And next thing I see paper bag just blow straight across. I watch it here, say, you see they got a garbage bin there.
Yes, you got to pull them up.
But my mouth is put me in worries.
Me too.
You understand? Because look, up to Sunday, 3 boys come here to my son. 3 friends. They all come eating something. I was sitting on my patio watching them. They come in, I see one of them roll up the paper and I see drop it on the ground. The bin is on the other side. I said, well, you paper we eating just now. He watched it and smile. I said, just drop it there. Please pick it up and throw it in the garbage. It's just a step away. Next thing you know, he bend down, he pick up. He bend down, play pick up. You know, when I go in the yard in the afternoon, I was telling my son, the bag in the gutter.
Yeah, because we a bunch of dirty people.
He just fooled me. He fooled me. He did fool me. Because I see it when he got there and he pick it up. Anyway, there is one. The guy with the policeman, if he must be a regular thing, because if he drive away, it's 2 times, since I listen to it's 2 times he drive away from the police. And he mightn't be lucky another time. These people know the car's faulty and they still would take a chance. And then they're saying, he's saying, so it just, he didn't know it blow. Sometimes blast well know it blow.
I agree with what you're saying there. With we need to change our attitude.
We have, if we don't change, Leonard, you travel. When I was in Canada, I never hear a car horn blow. And you're on the highway, wherever you are. People don't tooting on you. I never hear the same way how we can go away. And when you go away, you don't eat anything. You put the paper or the bottle or wherever you drink it in your bag. You can't dump it nowhere. So if we can adjust when we outside, just for a month or 2 months, when we come back, why we must go right back to the same old nastiness? You're keeping in another man's country because you can't do it and get charged. But you're coming in your own country and you don't care. You just mess up. Another thing, last week, I think it was Friday, I hear somebody was talking about Borbies. They got some drain they stink, and I'm quite sure it's in Pitt Street, Borbies, New Amsterdam. There's a food place there. I went up to Borbies about probably 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they got people selling clothes and all kind of thing along the line there. That drain stink, Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chicken place right there. I don't know if the chicken fat escaping into the gutter or what. But if you see the garbage inside, you don't tell me nobody don't see them things.
Mm-hmm.
But people just, it come like a norm. It comes like a norm to we Guyanese. And then when they get hold up with these things, they're complaining. Don't complain. You causing it.
I hear you, sister, and I think you're right. I like your attitude. Keep that up, and we got to continue. Everybody got a big mouth. Let's open it.
Everybody have to talk. Look, just one more point.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking right there by the Gar place one day.
This is a Starbucks market, or
right?
Yeah. Okay.
And I hear a boy behind me hollering, talking, saying something. I couldn't pick up what he says. I just looked back. For the time I look back, lady, we looking back for where boy put 2 coolie boy upon he, and I open my mouth so big, and I continue cussing and walking, and he there behind me. I see somebody talking behind me. I have to look back. Next thing I know he disappears. He's speedy running at the Gar with. He must have said she look like a lady, but she's a orangutan.
Yeah, you're orangutan. You're the market lady. I like you.
You can't keep your mouth shut when you see certain things.
No, we should not. Like I said before, we could look forward. We have the power in our hands. If we really want to leave something for our children, our grandchildren, our generation, the generations to come, we got to start right now and start being this thing here. You got to be very disciplined and very, very strong, because you're going to have people who want to break the laws and who want to do things the same old way, the things that they used to do 40 years back. And there's an old saying, if you keep doing the same thing every day, every single day, and expect a different results, you need to wake up and smell the coffee because it ain't going to happen.
But and then these same people complaining, this body ain't doing the work, the body ain't doing the work, and they're not doing the work. You ain't doing your work. You ain't doing your part. But say looking to see who do it. But this NDC, I don't know. I don't know who is re-NDC because I never see nobody.
And which area is that?
This is in Costello.
Oh, my goodness.
So I don't know who is the NDC or who not. Like, I never see nobody.
All right.
But
I got you.
Anyway.
Thank you, my dear. And you've been very vocal there. I like it. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
So, good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. Could you could be drunk like a fish. Once the price is right, you'd be let go. Somebody is saying, okay, bro, it's almost 2 months now since the pipe bust. And GWI says they don't have no one to look into it. Grove Post Office Street. What? And so, we need, let me see. This is Grove Post Office Street. Somebody need to call these people here. They need to do something. Grove Post Office Street on the East Bank there. GWI, how are you guys doing there? The people saying GWI, it's 2 months now and you can't fix a busted pipeline in the Grove Post Office Street. East Bank, Demerara, you need to fix it. The people complaining. And so let me see. What else do we have here? The boat have the inside where you can relax. You cannot eat inside. I often travel. I live in Saudi, but I'm in Freedom Hope looking after special need grandson. A good day to this good man. Hi, sir. Can you please give the human service? Okay. Do we have a number there? Could you give me a number there for the Ministry of Human Services? Okay, I'm going to get that. Somebody asked for the Ministry of Human Services Vindia Prasad number because they were interested in doing some mass work. I'm going to give you this number here. I'm going to call it out over the air. Leonard, when a thief enter your home with a gun and they start beating you by your baby child and your honest and your wife, how you feel when they walk away with all your savings? Yes. Please let me know if you need more teeth in ours. So we don't need a parole board. I think that's what they're asking for. Yes, look, we need systems in Guyana. This is why you have an appeal court. You have a Caribbean Court of Justice. These are all systems in place. I understand when people commit crimes against you, you want to see them locked away. You want to see them being punished. But this person is saying that after you would have been there, maybe you would have turned around your life. Maybe you would have been there. We know what happened. Huh? You need, for us to have a road awakening. I think when court restarts, I hope that court restarts sometime, or if you ever have any possibility of listening to court cases and see how the courts are dealing with people who are alleged to have committed crimes. I'm not saying that I'm sorry for anybody who's committing crime. I'm saying for you to have an appreciation of how the system works and what could probably go wrong, that maybe we could end up with some very innocent people or people who might not have committed that crime. They might have been involved with something else. They could very well end up in the prison system. And when they come out there, they could very well end up worse than what we would have seen. So we need to start looking at our situation and having an appreciation in it. And like I said before, education, awareness, these are all very, very important.
I got a number. Good afternoon, everyone. I got a number for you, 225-4186. 225-4186. That's the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. Of course, headed by Honorable Minister of India, Prasad, out there. I was driving getting into the studio when I heard you had a very outspoken young lady. I just would like to make one little quick thing. I would really love to know where in Canada she was driving that the horns were not blowing, because I understand her point. And I accept and I respect her point. But, madam, them people in Canada blow horn non-stop though.
In Canada.
Let me don't go down by Scarborough side. Let me don't go down by Brampton side. Let me don't even go down to downtown Toronto.
Oh, Toronto here, it's crazy.
Now, I respect her point. I respect her point about the car horns. A man had 5 vehicles down behind you. And the light in it reached green in a second.
And it started blowing for you.
Yes.
But you know, there's a judge. I think was it was it Mr. Judge Prasad or somebody, the one who's give out all those big sentence. Narendra, I think it is. And Aholan, they were blowing, and he sent the policeman. He says, please go out there and pick up a couple of those people that are blowing horn in front of the court and bring them in. I think one day they had about 20 of them.
Yeah.
And charge them.
I know, right?
Charge them.
I know, so it is. I bring some good news for you.
Oh, okay.
Excellent news. Upon entry.
The boss told you that I got a raise.
Oh, I didn't say anything else.
No.
I heard upon entry only. Upon entry, I was summoned to a stop. Right. You know, like when a traffic police stop you? Bram, Riaz, what happened? You alright? Yeah, I didn't see you in a long while, man. I got a little problem. Leonard asking for a raise. Well, here happened. Tell you and give you a raise. Go on. And when he tell me the piece, he don't. When I was stopped, like prompt to stop, he get on a dull color short today. If you all see him out on the road, he wearing a dull color short, yellow, like not a bright dull, like a little dye, a timid dull, like. So when I said that, he said, okay, go quick. So he stopped me for some reason, and then he changed his mind but he did say that yes, tell Leonard that he get the raise.
Okay.
So,
but I don't know if he shifted you up there, but I'm on vacation now, so I'm taking some liberties. I'm taking some liberties with my boss.
Well, I don't know. I was summoned to a stop, and I told him that, and he said, go right now, tell Leonard, yes, he gets the raise. So I'm just doing, what he said.
I worked with this man 13 years, and I knew him a little while before that. So I want to make it very clear that Glenlad is a slippery character. But I want to say good day to you, boss. I know that you're busy. You're always doing stuff, different stuff.
Well, let me Ruth, let me don't talk about New York, because New York is blow like.
So in the meantime, yes, we have like about 5 minutes thereabouts, and I want to say thank you for joining us here on the Wake Up Guyana show. We're probably going to take some calls right now. Let's quickly 226-7453. Yes, go right ahead, sir.
Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon.
Pretty good. Go ahead.
Very good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Leonard, I had applied for a house lot since 2011, okay? 2011, okay? And I was up at the stadium there, but was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I like to handle that situation there. That situation, you're going to endanger yourself for getting into that crowd there. Because I was seeing some of them got a mask, some of them don't even care how they talk or what they're doing, you understand? I would like to know what is the next procedure, because since 2011, and I understand they were sharing out 2015 applicants at the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And since 2011, I apply and just sitting all the time.
Is there? Do you have an online access? I think there's a complaint.
There is an online access. There is an online access for that. All right, I could give you the. If I don't give you the online access right now, just let that gentleman stay on my slot at 3 o'clock. I'll get it. I know I have it, but I'll just have to run through back a little bit before I can be able to give you that online access that you could get some question asked.
Right. So.
But then at one point,
yes.
Right? I just be trying, right? Because many times you go to house and you can't get in with the crowd that they have there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would not go in the crowd in that. You know what I mean?
No, it's very serious. You guys, COVID-19, man.
Now, why is it that we have two good ministers here? No complaint about them. You understand? Why is it that they don't take this thing into stage? Take it into stage as they have the applicants there. And if you are not in 2011, you have to remove. You understand? We're not dealing with 2015. We're dealing with 2011, 2012, 2013. That is the only spirit to avoid the crowd. Because they're creating the crowd here. They're creating that precedent there all the time. Excuse me. You understand me?
I got what you're saying there. I think they are very much aware too of some of the things, because Colin Crowell as a minister and Susan Rodriguez, these are very big go-getters. They've been trying to upturn this thing and to try to reverse. It's 50,000, I think 60,000 plus applications on file right now with Central Housing Planning. And I think they should be working with the years come. I think the first set of years coming down to where we are to the present applications.
Because when they were in power, didn't get it. Now they're back again into power. I can't get through.
Yes. I got what you're saying there, sir. So we are going to continue to engage them, and I think Riaz says he's going to share with you.
I'm looking on it right now. Actually,
he's going to share with
if
you
I
the
missed
link.
if I missed it in this slot, just stay with us right at Kaieteur. And when I get on my slot, I will share that info because I know I have it somewhere, but I'm just not finding it immediately. So I may not find it in this slot, but stay with me at 3:00, and I'll share it for sure.
Okay, Leonard. Listen, one more point I want to make to you,
Sure.
right? You know, when you're speaking, a guy was telling you about this road, okay, yesterday. I just listen to your program every day.
Yes, sir.
But I really don't get through. Today's 3 times I keep bugging the phone before I could get through.
Yes, sir.
The road that the guy is telling you about by Kaieteur, that
Yes,
thing
sir.
down there is very dangerous. The ministry should get into it. People are going to lose their lives
I
there.
think I did send it to Mr. Minister Deodat. Let me just make sure that I get it back.
People are going to lose their lives there. A friend of mine spoke to me this morning about it. He said if you're going up, you're in problem. If you're going up, you're in problem.
Wow.
If you don't watch it. Okay, Leonard, thank you so much. I would like you to get into it, though, because I can't say sit down and waiting. I'm 60 years of age, and I got to build me house off my own.
No. I like, and you know what? If we don't continue to push and be aggressive every day, you get up and you do it. We're not going to get anywhere. We got to be aggressive.
Case that
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you, Leonard.
Yes. So we got to be very aggressive, but I think we're down to program time. Let's continue the conversation, all right?
Okay. I'm 60, so I can't get a loan at the bank. That's for sure.
Yes, right.
I got to build off my own, you understand?
Yes, sir. Got you.
And I am just playing with them things. I am not a squatter. I could have got any success and squat.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
You understand?
Yeah. All right, my
I
brother.
do it the right way. I have an acknowledgement letter. They have 3 copies in a thousand. Away you're calling, nobody answer the phone whatsoever.
Yes, sir. Got you.
Thank you so much, Leonard.
God bless you. Bye-bye. Unfortunately, we come down to that time when we have to say goodbye. It's always a pain to do that. The Wake Up Guyana show here with your host, Leonard Gildarie. Keeping us company, of course, would be W.R. Riaz and Raj at the controls. And so you could get us back. We've been coming to you live from our Saffron Street studio here. You could get us, you could relook at the program, listen to it back on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So wherever you are, whatever you've been doing today, I think I would hope, as usual, that we have been able to uplift your lives, to be able to improve your lives. While we don't have solutions to everything that you would have raised today, I hope that we've been able to point you in the right directions. And it was interesting, even Mr. Steve Reese and so on would have the contrary views. That's okay, as he's pointed out. Freedom of speech, and sometimes, yes, it is always good to have the contrary view. The contrarian view on things that we have in Guyana. So wherever you are, do have a pleasant rest of the day. We are going to be back with you tomorrow.
I got it for that, gentlemen. Just www.chpa.gov.gy/application. But what I will advise that gentleman to do is follow on the actual website, so you may have the details on it there, showing application, tracing of year. So what I will advise you to do is go to chpa.gov.gy, and they have all the details right there in applying for land, property, minister's statement. And if you apply for land and property and info, you click on that, you'll be able to access more info pertaining to application for land, application for property. You put in your name, different sections and all of that. Applicant's name, first name, last name, date of birth, and then you'll be able to trace where it was or where it is. So that's my best advice to that gentleman. chpa.gov.gy. Thank you.
Thank you very much there, Riaz. Unfortunately, out of time. This has been your edition of the Wake Up Guyana show with your host, Leonard Gildarie. We're going to be back with you tomorrow, same place, same time, and we're going to step it up. We're going to find something to do tomorrow. So thank you very much. Until.
COVID-19 tips sponsored by Dex Soap. 1. Practice social distancing. 2. Wear your mask when leaving the house. 3. Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds using our Deck soap. 4. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze. Choose Deck soap for that extra cleanliness. Deck soap is affordable and available nationwide.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara